You're understood. You're understood. And honestly, I
Copernicus
agree.
hits a money spread on Thatch using the fucking the apparatus arm that has the roll of coins in it
Murders
that he
Thatch.
uses for the fucking fistful of dollars ability.
Jesse is gonna clasp a hand onto Thatch's shoulder, and she's gonna say, "But I do understand what you're trying to say. You want to end it all, so there is nothing but peace. I mean, I'm good with that. I actually am. I just don't know if that goal would be in our lifetime, and I think both of your goals kind of merge together. At the end, what we've created with Soul Eternus, the temporary peace we're bringing to the material realm, and what we're doing here in Hell, the people we're leaving behind, they're gonna have something to do later, just in case. If we don't completely eradicate Hell, and someone does have the balls to finally come and puff their chests, we've prepared them to be strong enough to defend themselves. You guys have done so much, but I think you're both gonna get what you want at the end. I'm sure of it.
Oh, trust me, I know I'm getting what I want.
Oh.
I honestly just want to challenge myself and go on the greatest adventure anyone can ever possibly say they have with my lads, my pals. And we're doing that right now. Everything else is secondary. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely intent on kicking Asmodeus and Zariel's asses. But it's like we said, the fact that we're here in Hell right now, and everyone back in the guild hall has been spending 5 years tooth and nail fighting to defend their home, that means we've put a lot of trust in them and their capabilities and what they can do without us. Part of me wants them to be able to prove themselves again in the future. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to take all the glory I can while I'm alive, but the fact that it stops somewhere, I don't like that. I want it to keep on going.
I can respect it. Well, what the fuck do we do now?
I think I have an idea.
I reach out.
So we need to get to the 7th layer and find Windfire and beat the ever-living shit out of her for Jim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was really beneficial and convenient that the person we were looking for on this layer just so happens to have an eagle eye above all eagle eyes and could see and tag anything from across the entire plane with bullets. And I'm not sure how open it's entirely possible that Windfire will be opening herself up and trying to goad us into a challenge when we do get to the 7th layer. But either way, it may involve a bit of searching. After all, these layers are huge. And so my idea is that and she kind of like looks around just to the general area and everywhere around us. Ungodly amount of forces we have at our back who are willing to support us in our future endeavors. I'd say it wouldn't take us... It wouldn't be that outlandish to say that we could scour across an entire plane if we split up our resources. Like dragons somewhere, giants somewhere, a Gith somewhere, other people in these other places with the boats, and all that. Obviously, we would stick together because, if shit hits the fan and we run into the real heart of the situation with Windfire, Zariel, or Asmodeus, we will be best as a team. So I'm not suggesting the main group split up. I'm just saying that if we started searching the 7th layer, we would eventually find Windfire, or whoever else we're looking for, with an innumerable amount of scouts at all corners that could also point us in the right direction.
This is true.
It is.
So, we just start heading down?
I mean, yeah. I think if we start looking now, it's not like we'll find her immediately unless, well, I don't know. So there are Zariel did reveal that some people do have the capability of just finding us whenever they feel like it, but also I think it may or may not take us a minute to search. So if we get started now, then maybe Jim will have his head in the right space by the time we get there.
I like what you're putting down. I'm picking it up.
And you continue setting sail and flying dragons through this gambling lair. Heading through to reach this time. Because you would skip a layer, you would have to go straight through this level of hell.
Yeah, to 7.
Yeah.
Skipping 6, I believe. Yeah. Just double checking.
Heading through the junk here, you eventually arrive at what looks to be sort of liquid mercury suspended on the edge of the plane. After about 2 weeks of travel through the plane, are you ready to unbirth?
Yeah.
Unbuzzed.
I'll never
To which
unbust.
this time thousands, hundreds of thousands, really, of your would be
what?
going
Of
through this
what?
at once.
Oh, just creatures.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Fair.
Nigga said hundreds of thousands. God
Bursting
damn.
into the 7th layer. The craziest traffic jam in River Styx history right now.
Let's get it.
But you head in, and again, you feel yourselves unborn, sort of de-aging, sort of aging rapidly to the end of your lives, turning to dust and entering the other
Yum.
side, and slowly, over the course of a month, having yourselves reborn.
I thought we didn't have to do that if we skipped layers.
You can't skip this layer because you're going from. Oh, you're going from 7 to 7. Never mind.
No, we're going from 5 to 7.
Easy.
Yeah, I was just making sure. I was like, wait a second, didn't we? Don't we no longer
I
have to do this
forgot.
because of the dragons and the ships? It's okay.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you
I just had to ask.
swim through the river Styx, and through a layer that you can't quite comprehend as you pass by it, being 6, you eventually find yourselves expelled over layer 7. You see this bright sun, sprawling scholarly buildings on every end. It seems to be a much more similarly a large city to the second layer that you were at, but with what looks to be a false sun, and these sort of various people you see suffering around the town.
I fucking
You
love
see
suffering.
people who have their limbs broken around giant wheels. Others are being picked apart by ravens. Various kinds of torture are happening throughout the streets here.
Disgusting. Once we cross over, Ari will kind of like start. She'll do the thing she said earlier. Where she'll kind of like start instructing like different groups of people, like the Githyanki or the dragons or the giants or whoever else, kind of like spread out and fan out over the plane.
All right. You spread people far and wide, sort of exploring the plane, and there is there is a lot of suffering here in general, and it seems to be mostly people who have died.
Hmm.
This mass torture chamber. Torture city.
What the city?
Also, in metagaming terms, the whole fanning out my resources thing is the best canon way I can come up with. You not having to, you having to justify where the fuck everybody is if we get into another fight here.
Of course, of course. Um, spending a day exploring. Come the first night. Choose for me one of your groups that are traveling.
I'll say currently, depending on how they actually want to split themselves up. So we have the giants, the rogues, which I guess can be a conglomerate of the yellow masks and the joy bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Moab's clerics of Quinter, who should probably travel with another group for safety. And then, of course, the giants, dragons, and Gith.
Okay.
So
Name me a random one of those.
I'll say the rogues. The both the joy bombs and the yellow masks traveling together.
Come the end of the first day, the rogues do not return.
What?
Oh no,
Oh, scary! They're getting
That's-
kidnapped.
buddy, not good.
Theory, just a theory.
A game theory.
A gay theory?
And you wake up the next morning to what you think is rain. Stepping outside, you realize that fingers are dropping from the sky,
What the fuck?
all with a rogue's ring.
No fucking way.
Oh,
Buddy,
no.
what the fuck?
Oh no!
It's a lot of fingers, bud.
Oh,
Holy fuck.
oh Jesus!
Ah,
Bro, what the fuck? Why?
is there
Bro,
not a
where's
single soul
Nikki?
survivor? They're just
Bro,
all
I feel
dead.
like I'm on a fucking timer now. I need Nikki to show up, or this is just gonna keep going on.
You're gonna lose more members if Nikki doesn't show up.
Fuck.
Is there any sign of anything other than blood raining and fingers dropping?
We go to where the
People
rogues went.
suffering. You head to the where you sent the rogues to search.
No,
Essentially,
I'm saying to the rest of the party, we need to go to where the rogues went.
Can I kind of so wherever we are right now on the first day, is this like an urban area? You said it's a lot of
It
things
is
here are made of like
all-
mercury
What do
and
you mean
stuff.
urban?
It's marble, sort of this giant singular castle that is extending to form the entire plane.
Okay.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Over
These
the
kind
course
of
of-
walkways
That's pretty cool. Fucking
and
cool.
courtyard.
Over the course of the first day, Ari would kind of just investigate the denizens here, not really mess with them too much. But you said that they're all kind of miserable and being tortured. I just want to kind of check in on multiple of them and see exactly
Roll me history.
how. Okay, let me check. Make a history check. I mean, history +1. Ooh, 18.
You looking through a lot of these being tortured, you recognize some of them in your time studying,
Really?
specifically when you were studying magic. These are a few of these guys at least are great minds.
Do they think alike?
Interesting.
up,
Historically
Forrest.
intellectual figures, philosophers,
Ooh.
scholars.
Yes.
Boo this man.
Yes.
I see. This place was described as being made up of a bunch of like wizards towers and stuff. If I remember you saying that correctly.
Yeah, it's this giant singular sort of castle and tower structures.
I guess my next question is, as I'm kind of investigating throughout the day, does it show like, do I see exactly how they're miserable? Like, do they just look miserable, or are they actively like being tortured, or are they kind of like just being
They're
forced into tasks?
It
Like
is
out of
like
their own
they are
will?
actively torturing themselves. Their bodies are just sort of
Oh,
like forcing and convulsing on various torture devices.
Whoa.
oh, interesting.
Oh, this is horrible.
Feels good, man.
If I can, so this is a very scholarly place. I imagine there are like just any places that have like books or documents.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Searching inside the library, inside one of the buildings, you would find that it does seem to be somewhat not like a library, but like each one, the inside of each of these seems to be like someone's private study chamber.
Hmm.
Not a library, but something a little more intimate than that.
Okay. I guess I'm just looking for like personal records anyway, so that's kind of beneficial.
Look, hmm looking into like sort of what is written there, you you would find the pages seem to be blank.
Hmm. I'm gonna take a couple of the documents, just like a random couple of them, that are
Hmm
blank. I'm gonna start making my way back to Umi, whatever anybody else is doing at this time.
Jesse
Alright.
found one, but it has some writing in it, guys. It says, "Why are pigs so bad at sports? They're always hogging the ball. What? Uh, at 8 o'clock the other
Looking at
day,
Dragon's
it
joke
was
book.
very
Dragon's
time
joke is fucking
consuming.
great,
What?
yeah.
What? What kind of car do the sheep like to drive? A Lamborghini. What's a Lamborghini, guys?
Canonically
Take
funniest
the book away.
wizards.
Take
What
the book
is
away.
happening?
I don't know. We're losing our minds.
I'm in
The
hell. I don't know
canonically
anymore.
the funniest wizards.
Yeah, funniest wizards.
Joke wizard.
Yeah, I'll just make my way over to Umi, wherever like we're just kind of hanging out as a group.
And Ummi seems to be in one of the sort of buildings for the for like the this traveling city, and she's just meditating.
I'll give her some time and wait until it seems like she's taking a pause or a break in her meditation as I kind of like just fiddle around with the papers a bit more.
She sort of remains eyes closed, just gives a girly pop.
Hmm.
Hi, I was just wondering if since, I can't really do much spellcaster bullshit anymore. I was wondering if these just have like invisible ink or some kind of like enchantments on them or something. They seem to be personal records. I found them hidden in a couple of desks and just, left across
Hmm.
tables and whatnot. Uh, Real, well, I mean, hell isn't exactly known for being a happy rainbow road, a fun time, but everyone out there is kind of torturing themselves and it's not fun to watch. So I was just trying to hope if I could find some
Well,
at least writings from before.
let me see that. And she is going to put on a sort of like think the sort of spy.
And I'm gonna kind of like look for whoever is just nearest or just kind of out and about, just chilling.
The nearest two.
Just members of Soliturnus, just so I can like wrangle them up and like share an idea with them.
I'd say Edge is probably closest.
Hey, so I'm gonna try and get the others. I have an idea of I think where we can start trying to figure out what the hell is going on in this layer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll give us some clues. Maybe. I'm just going off of a couple of things I heard people like Copernicus and Thatch and Myrtle talk about.
You don't sound confident.
Well, it's more so just I have an idea, I promise, and I have like the logical conclusion in my head tells me that if we follow through with this, we may find something about what exactly it is that Windfire's doing here. I think.
You think? Good enough for me. I'll go get them.
Cool. And I'm just gonna kind of like look around and run around and look for the others too.
And I'll go get everybody else and relay that information.
Alright. Another Soul Eternus for another team huddle.
Fuck yeah. So Ari's gonna kind of get together and go, okay, so I think I may know how we can see what Windfire's doing here in this plane. And it's because of this, and she just holds up a blank piece of paper.
You what?
Umi told me that apparently I need to take this back to whoever wrote it. But everyone who wrote here and everyone who could have written papers here, they're all currently torturing themselves, flagellating, hooking themselves up to devices, this, that, and the other. We know two things. One is that, based off of what you guys talked about, Windfire lived in Vecna's basement? Question mark?
What?
Which was
Yes,
a
she
library?
did. Yeah.
Okay.
And so she has a bunch of information and a bunch of books. And maybe she's trying to stop other people from having it, which is why all these papers are blank. And the second thing is Thatch, Copernicus. The two of you knew Myrtle and, well, you knew about what she was doing involving that unicorn, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that is, well,
I mean, loosely.
what are you getting at? I mean, Seldesax, the unicorn has a name, is, well, I'm not really sure if she's alive or dead, but the whole point of what Myrtle was trying to do was to, wait a second. And Ari's like, yes, exactly. Apparently multiple people know about this, and Myrtle was trying to do it too. From what I've learned in my time in Hell, from Myrtle and other people, there's this other guy, but he was really weird, and Kai and I had to deal with him. But that's beside the point.
Huh?
There is some kind of ubiquitous technology in Hell that involves using the misery of others. And I think that's why Redrin was kidnapped. It's entirely possible that whatever Windfire is doing to Redrin, to Jim's husband, and to everybody else in this entire plane, or this entire layer of Hell, it's just a big upscaled version of the machine that Myrtle was trying to make by using the miserated soul of Seldesax.
Wait. Redrin was kidnapped?
Oh, and she kind of puts her fingers together and is like, yeah, Jim told me apparently he had a nightmare where his husband was kidnapped by Windfire and Redrin was there too, and he's hooked up to some kind of machine, and I think he's being used to a relation similar to what Myrtle was trying to make with Seldesax. And rather
That
than just
punches his
Seldesax's
fist.
history-
Clap heard around the world. Fuck this! Jim! Get your head in the game! We gotta go find Woodfire now!
I feel like
Okay,
that's
now is my problem.
yeah, it was a lagged reaction of that when we first found
That
out
was
about it.
hilarious.
But here it is, the proper reaction.
I mean, to be fair, Jim only told Ari.
Yeah. It
about-
was
yeah.
Loki. It was Loki.
It was Loke. Well, maybe if we look into this, we can possibly find out where she is. Because if we find out who's been writing these things and why these things are erased, maybe it'll trace us back to the source. After all of this misery and torture had to start somewhere, and these writings may show us what happened and where these people were right before it started.
What if we just go where the rogues went?
I mean we can. Yeah, we could do that. I guess it's just up to everybody if, you know, we can go to where the rogues were, or I mean, maybe we can do both. Maybe doing one will do the other.
City, are there like any trees or like mountains around?
No. There does not seem to be anything organic here at all. Really, there are fountains with water, but
Any
everything else
structures?
seems to be stone, brick, marble.
Yeah.
It's all a structure.
What's the nearest
It's a
structure?
giant castle.
Oh. I'm just gonna walk over to the nearest wall and just unsheath my sword and start just cleaving into it. I got a test. Remember what it feels like to swing a sword! Just like fucking Just
An entire building crumbles to dust.
Damn, Tiger. Didn't know you had it in you.
You start swinging into stone over and over again, and by the end of it, you've scratched it.
no way.
Oh damn!
Yo, puny dragon boy. Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when an entire fucking plane of wizards be working on infrastructure.
What's the plan, Ari?
Okay, so we want to do two things. We want to track down where the rogues were last, and we want to figure out what kind of machine. I think you're on the right track. The rogues' fingers were the only ones that fell from the sky. It's entirely possible that they weren't actually killed, they were just maimed and tortured, and they had all their fingers cut off for extra misery to power whatever machine this is. Again, and she kind of like puts both of her hands up Drewski style, assuming this is a machine that is similar to the one that Myrtle was working on that feeds on misery. That's the only reason why I can imagine there's an entire layer of hell full of people who are particularly tortured and in pain, rather than all the others that are just fighting or starving.
You can see that just like skin splintering a little bit, like he's fighting, growing. I can find where they went. Who wants to come?
I mean, we should all stick together if we're gonna go. I imagine we're gonna need our best when we actually come across Windfire.
Agreed.
So I guess
I agree as well.
our forces are spread, and, you know, those who were at our back are kind of out and about looking for our foe as well. We'll stick together and we'll hoof it? Question mark.
Sure.
Hoof it is.
Okay.
I mean,
Get to hoofing and
as long as
buffing
we're sure.
and blow their
Won't,
fucking ass in.
that's a little bit.
What's that,
What'd you
Edge?
say, Edge?
Oh, I said, as long as we're sure Thatch won't burst a blood vessel.
I mean, if we run into any enemies along the way that try to get in our way, he can
They're
probably
all
take
his.
frustrations
Yeah.
out on them.
Fucking
And-
bite through them!
I have an idea myself involving that. If we do run into opposition or things that try to get in our way here,
The ops.
I'll take them on. I know that Copernicus said you guys got caught with your pants down, he, in his own words, with Zariel after having just fought Destiny. And I was thinking, just last week when we fought Jago and Dr. Bethlehem again with those two Devil Lords in Amadeus' hands, we probably wouldn't have been in great shape if there had been anything else to come after us. Thankfully we had the help of, well, Polaris.
Mm-hmm.
So, until we get to Windfire, Thatch, you can take your anger out on whoever you want. I'm not your mom, but
Marty, get over here!
I do think
Holy
at least some of you should conserve your energy. And that's to say that I will make up for the difference. Especially you, Jim, and you, Copernicus. I have no doubt you could put a bullet between the eyes of anyone, no matter how far away. And maybe even a couple of other of you if you feel so inclined. It's your choice, and it's up to you if you think you have the energy to keep going or if you want to save it all for Windfire. But I just had to put the thought out there.
That's
You know
smart.
you don't have to do that, right? You can just.
I guess. No,
help
I
fight
understand.
when we get attacked.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking too far ahead of myself after what I heard went on with Zariel. I guess I'm just trying to make sure that that doesn't happen to you guys again.
Well, it's good. Someone's got to think around here. Most of us are just here to swing and hopefully save the world doing so.
Holla.
What?
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want
Like
to think. I want to see my friend!
All right, Tiger.
All
Maybe
right,
we
well,
should keep
maybe
moving.
We should, yeah, let's get going.
He's gonna get
Yeah,
louder if we
yeah.
don't keep going.
And you see the miserable people's eyes, some of them following you.
Oh. Oh man, starting to get the spooks.
Jeebies.
Yeah.
What are these
They
guys
mouth
looking at?
words, but don't seem actual strength to speak.
Umi, you're smart. What are they mouth?